Hello. I am making an astronaut video. This is gonna be a blue astronaut that will go to ET Spaceship 9 Stargate Galactica. That's where this is going to. This is fun. This is wonderful today. Wonderful weather. Nice and warm. Springtime. April 1st, 2024. I had a horrible nightmare last night. In the middle of the night. It was, I don't know what, it was like 2 or 3 or something. I woke up screaming my head off. Oh my gosh. Screaming and screaming like I'm being tortured. And then Paul wakes up, baby dog wakes up. I hate that, waking other people up. The neighbors probably woke up. They were like ready to call the police. What's going on? My gosh, is this embarrassing? But, it is what it is. So Paul finally hollered at me and wake up. And I woke up and I was like, where am I? I was like completely mentally confused in that moment for just a few seconds, like completely confused. What's going on? Where am I? What just happened there in my dream, I thought I was in this house. And I've dreamed about that house many times before. The neighbors, the gardener's house at my parents' property. I have in the past spent quite some time there because I was friends with Monica, the gardener's daughter. I think I've even slept over there a few times. But there was always this weird energy in that house. And when I was a child, I ignored it. Because I didn't know. I didn't know what it was. It just felt weird and uncomfortable and scary. It felt scary, the energy in that house. They also had a mold infestation in that house. But that's not why it was scary. I don't know if there's an entity in it. Maybe the entity left now, I don't know. But maybe not. But there was definitely an entity in there. Definitely. And I dreamed about that entity, and the entity was, I was opening up the door. Someone else was there with me. They go into the hallway where the staircase is, and from the back of the staircase, behind the staircase, there was this entity, and the entity was coming at me, and the whole house was shaking, and the whole house made really weird sounds, like almost like a screaming sound. The house made the screaming sound. The entity was coming at me, and it felt really frightening. It was so frightening that I didn't know what to do. I was so terrified. I felt like the entity is now coming into my face or something. And I screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed. And then Paul woke me up. Yeah. And then I was still afraid, lying on my back, looking up into the ceiling. I see the shadows of the rhododendron trees casted onto the wall behind the bed, which is nice. I like that. I see them moving with the wind because there are lights out there. There are way in the distance. There are some bright lights, street lights, and also the cell phone antenna light and all of that is shining over here across the streets into the garden. But the good thing is that the trees are being projected onto the wall behind the bed, and that's a little bit eerie, but it's also very soothing. So I finally got up, went into the garage. When I came back into my bed, I felt like I needed to keep myself awake for a few more minutes so that I don't continue that dream. And then I drank some tea, and then I went back to bed and finally decided, okay, I better go back to sleep. And then I didn't continue the dream. Yeah, once in a while that is what happens. Okay, I wake up with extreme terror and very, very loud screaming. My friend Jana used to do that. I met her at Art Jano's Primal Center. She also used to wake up frequently in the middle of the night, screaming in a nightmare. These things, they don't happen just like that. There's a reason for it when that happens. So that means most likely, or I would say almost 100% of the time, that the person had trauma in childhood, and particularly where the mother was not reliable, where the mother was mentally ill, and where the mother was not nice to the child, which is usually the daughter, mother not being nice to her daughter. Lots of noises and people blasting their radios and their P music. Annalise called it PP music. Annalise and Eduard, I'll never forget that. The anecdote from Annalise and Eduard, where was that? Somewhere in Venice, Italy. in a Ritz-Carlton hotel, where they were, I don't know, they were on the 5th floor or something, and right on the street, under their window, were a bunch of homeless people or something, homeless type of people, and they turned on their boombox really loud, and Annalise and Eduard said, "This is PP music. We're not going to tolerate that." I don't know what they were doing. They were resting up there, and talking to each other, sitting on the table right next to that window. It was summertime and they had the windows open. Eduard said, "I know what to do." He went in the bathroom, filled up an entire bucket, which happened to be there in that bathroom. I don't know why the housekeepers left the bucket there. But he filled the bucket with water, brought it to the window, and poured it right onto the boombox. That ended the pee music. They have lots of those stories, Anneliese and Eduard. It's a little bit like Bonnie and Clyde. I love their stories. I absolutely love them. Anneliese, she did amazing things. When they were on vacation, and Eduard was a diplomat, an ambassador for peace and peace negotiations. Was a very high-ranking politician. So they were always traveling to these places, even China, and talking to very high-ranking people. China was always very civilized, the Asian countries are very civilized. But when they got closer to the equator, that's when things got pretty rocky and miserable. So when they were in India or Bangladesh or Taiwan, places that are closer to the equator, they would encounter suffering animals. And Anneliese, she was not just talking about animal rights, she was doing it. So, which is amazing for her generation, because she was born 1921. So it's pretty cool. And my friend Sandy is also action oriented. She has also rescued animals. We are signing petitions, Sandy and I and Paul. But Paul and I are cowards, sort of. We don't go in there into the battlefield, okay? But Sandy has gone into places where she rescued animals. And that is angel work, okay? And Anneliese was doing angel work. Whenever they were on a vacation, she saw an animal. She would see a camel with the feet tied up. I saw that in Kenya. I didn't know what to do. I felt so helpless. And Anneliese, she would take her pocket knife out. I don't know why she had a pocket knife, but somehow she had a pocket knife in her purse. She took that out and she basically sewed off those ropes that were tying the camel feet together. Sewed that off really carefully, making sure that it wasn't poking the animal in the foot, and letting the camel walk free. And the animals, they were infinitely grateful to her. One time she was somewhere, I don't know, Bangladesh or something. There was a horse all alone, also with ropes tied around all of his feet, like the front feet, the back feet. I think they were even tethered together, back and front feet, where the horse could not even walk or not even make pee-pee. In a real, like, clenched up position, standing there and I wonder for how long. She went there with the pocket knife and sewed the rope apart. Took her a long time, she said, took her over an hour. That's really, really angel work. Amazing. And her husband Eduard always supported her with that. And when she got the horse free, the first thing the horse did was make a whole lot of pee-pee. The horse could not even relieve himself with the ropes. I mean, that's how cruel some of these people are and the countries. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. A nation can be judged by the way they treat their animals. Okay? And that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Iceland, they're good with animals. It's a very civilized nation. But they're also way too woke and all of that, way too liberal, and bring them all here and we take care of you. They don't seem to understand the consequences of all of that, bringing people from violent countries into their country. What are they thinking? They think that they're not going to be violent in their country? Miraculously? No, they will be violent in their country too. They will bring violence to their country. And I'm very worried for Iceland because it's such a beautiful place and they have been doing so well with everything. With feminism, with civil rights, with animal rights, environment. They have geothermal springs all over Iceland, people heating their homes with that, fully sustainable. They have Iceland horses. My mother had Iceland horses. They should never bring Iceland horses from Iceland to another place, because Iceland horses evolved only there, and they cannot handle all of these particles that are in the air in other places. So an Iceland horse transported to other places in Europe, that's going to be a problem. They're going to get eczema, okay? Real severe eczema. And my mother had to treat she had two horses that were originally from Iceland. And they both had this eczema. And she had to take care of that every single day during the summer months, because of the different pollen and insects and so on that they're not used to. So never fly a horse from one place to another. Don't do it. Leave them where they are natural, where they are native. Leave all animals where they are native, where they feel good. Don't carry animals across the globe. It's not good. That also causes ecological imbalance. Okay. But then there are people that want to get rid of what they call invasive species. Some pets or whatever that have freed themselves and ended up procreating in this different environment, like rabbits, for example, in Australia, rats in the United States and also Europe. Rats are originally from Africa, cats too, and then it has consequences. And there have been a bunch of insects and mainly and amphibians and plants that have been moved to a completely different environment where they're doing well, but they are causing problems for the other species. So then they're called invasive species, and then the environmentalists are going against them with, I don't even want to say it, they go against them with poisons, and that is even worse than the species being transported to another place. That is much worse. That's an overkill, literally, in the literal sense. They should do nothing about it. It has been done. It is what it is. Leave it. Let it take its own course. Okay. And even if the other species if the bullfrog here in this region, which comes from Mississippi, if the bullfrog eats the little native frogs in this area, then that is what they do. Let it be. Okay, but the pesticide lobby, they latch onto the bandwagon with environmentalism in quotation marks. And they see that as their opportunity to promote I'm making video to promote their poisons. And I've seen this here live happening right in front of me. And yes, I had to do what I had to do. I had to intercept with that. And I'm glad I was able to intercept with it. Because if I had not intercepted, she would have poisoned the entire wetland area. So, and that's what greedy people do. They only see their kickback money and the pesticide lobby. Barack Obama hired the CEO of Monsanto. It's complete vested interest, total corruption, into the Department of Agriculture. I mean, it couldn't be more ironic and vicious and tragic. Not enough people stood up, That's why the corporate agenda got him in there, because Barack Obama is part of an oil family. They got him in there because they knew he is only money oriented. He's like a recruit, they can do whatever they want with him, the corporate agenda, and he'll sign it all, no matter how corrupt and how much that causes problems with the environment and animals. So really, really heartbreaking. So yeah, he was paid to hire the CEO of Monsanto. And then all shit hit the fan, and they really promoted their poisons all the way from the top to the bottom into every governmental niche and seat. As Rockefeller said, every man has his price. I'll say almost every person. It's not every person. Donald Trump does not have a price. Donald Trump would never, ever take bribe money. Never. That's why we need Donald Trump back. Okay. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden have always taken bribe money, and Barack Obama. Those are the recruits. That's how it works. Yes, baby dog. But I want to talk about more positive things, so I want to make this as an addition to my ET Spaceship 9 Stargate Galactica. I already have 2 horses for it that are already in the greenhouse. I am painting them right now. Been painting for a couple of days, painting them with several layers. The black horse is now blue and pink. Because I don't paint with black. I might paint with a gray tones, but not with black. Because black is too depressing. Black is the color of coffins. I don't like it. I have black clothes. It's okay. Black clothes look pretty. My pants was black, so it's okay. But for artwork, I don't want to have any black in my artwork. And if I was to make clothes, I would not use black. I would make this pants in this color or this color or green or the baby dog color or pastel colors. So that's probably most likely pastel colors, like pastel pinks and stuff like that. So that's the color that I would choose if I could choose. So with clothes, we can't always choose what color it is. More important than the color in clothes is that it fits and that it is comfortable. So these pants are very comfortable and they're practical and they keep me warm. And also Sadhguru, he said that wearing black is not a good idea because it just absorbs any kind of energy from around you. So I don't want to absorb any energy from other people. I don't know why Jonathan Mese wears black, because he thinks that makes him feel better, but it's actually not very good. He says he's afraid of the people out there, but then why does he wear black, which absorbs their energy? So, I mean, not like totally, but it tends, to draw in more stuff, I guess, like a black hole or something. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know if this is even true, but the blue god protects us from everything. Blue god also protects my black items that I have in my life. My black clothes, my black. This computer is not fully black. It is like an anthracite and a dark blue outer shell. Chromebook Asus, very, very nice, very lovely. Even the frame inside of the monitor, even that's not fully black. I love that. They get my highest respect for this. So it's a very dark navy. I like that much better. And the keyboard color, very nice. So even the keys are not completely black. It's more like a very dark gray. So I like that. And then, my pants are black, but clothes are never really completely like a black hole. Black hole black, never completely like this. It's always a little bit grayish. So, which is good. The blue god protects us from everything. I made the sweater. It's nice. It's a very nice sweater. Very comfortable. very cozy. I'm planning on making a whole lot of more sweaters because they are so much better than a t-shirt. So much better, so much warmer, cozier, and they dry fast. So when we go on a vacation, let's say I have to, for some reason I need to wash some clothes in the hot springs or something, then I can just wring them out very easily and hang it over the window of the van, or I hang it up inside of the van we have bungee cords inside of the van and these clippers, and just clip them on the bungee cords. It will dry with the wind in 2 hours. It will be fully dry. So very practical, dries very fast, wonderful. I want to only have clothes that are practical like this. So cotton takes a long time to dry, obviously. For vacation, for a camping trip, that's not very, very practical. So I'm gonna bring my synthetic socks that I got at the Dollar Tree store on the vacation. They will dry in minutes if I wash them. Very, very nice. And they're they're fun. They have fun colors, orange and blue and white, different pink and stuff, with Easter bunnies on it. And they're very, very comfortable. I was very surprised because the socks I bought before that have like color themes on it, they're not very elastic, and that wasn't working very well. So, but these are very, very elastic and and still warm, but not too warm. Really good for spring and summer. Good, particularly great if you wear shorts and you have Easter bunny socks on. I always cut the very top off because I don't like the tops of socks that compress against the skin, so I always cut that off. And they make good rubber bands for other things. It feels good to create things and to think about your life and about what you want to do and what your situation currently is, and then just think it all through in detail. What is my current situation? How I want to do my inventory. I want to look at what I have available in terms of resources. What is growing in my garden. How can I get another plant growing without paying for it? How can I get an apple and put the seeds in potting soil and let's see what comes out? Can I do composting, get my own really rich, fertile earth soil that is unmatched? You can't even buy that in the store. And make your life in a way where it works. End all toxic stuff. Quit coffee, quit all the toxic stuff. Quit sugar, quit nicotine, quit alcohol, quit drugs, quit pharma drugs, all of it. Quit it all. When you quit all of that, then you don't vegetate anymore. Some people said, should I don't want to vegetate along my life, like every day vegetating like a vegetable. Vegetable, don't even compare yourself to a vegetable. So vegetables are not even vegetating in that sense that you mean it. They're thriving, they're healthy and happy, even if they don't walk, right? So, but my psychiatrist, he also, after I attempted suicide, he pointed to that cactus next to me on the counter, and he said, well, be glad you're not like the cactus now. You came out with full consciousness. It hasn't put you into a vegetative state. I'm sure it killed some of my brain cells, but then they regenerated themselves, of course. The DNA knows how to do cell differentiation and cell regeneration and cell plasticity and brain plasticity and all of that. But you have to feed your body nutritious stuff, You can't be taking drugs or alcohol or any of that stuff. You have to feed yourself healthy things. Eat healthy, raw, fresh, green vegetables, salads, and spinach, and all kinds of amazing. We have amazing stuff growing over there that I don't know how it started, but it grew by itself there, and these things, they taste so good, like very interesting looking leaves that are coming out of the lawn. And I just had the feeling they would taste good. I tasted them and they taste so incredibly good. Wow, I was very surprised. So I eat those, and I eat clover and daisies and dandelion and grass also. Grass tastes really, really good. Tastes so super. So let me see if I can put the computer here on this counter, then I can do it like this here. This pocket here was already there. And there's another pocket further down. It was already there because I'm using fabric rests to make clothes with. So I'm gonna make the shape now. I have to have 2 hands for that. Mm-hmm. All right. And there are some dog hairs embedded in it, but that's perfectly okay. So when the Stargate Galactica is finished, I will make a video for Sandy to show you Stargate Galactica, and then I want Paul, or I don't know if Paul is not very helpful with this. I will use this same Tupper container to put my computer on, and then I will I hope that's the day will not be windy because it's made out of styrofoam and that blows away fast. So on a non-windy day, when it's nice and sunny, I will bring it out here, and I will, how do I do this? Yeah, I'll just direct the camera towards where I am going to show the artwork, and then I want to show going through that portal. So I thought about that today. I thought that would be cool to make a video where I walk through the portal of Stargate Galactica. And then you see how I go through that portal, and then I get into a different dimension after going through that portal. Probably not, right? That would be something. Maybe I go through the portal and Philip Jones sends a bullet drone just so that it is in exact synchronicity with me going through that portal. And as I'm going through the portal and have both of my legs going through that portal, the drone comes and shoots me into the head. And then I am literally going into a different dimension. I'm going back to the Orion Nebula. But my body will be lying dead on the other side of the portal. And then the drone flies off. And then he laughs. And he thinks that's funny. And he feels refreshed that he did that. And then he thinks he can sleep better at night after he did that. No, that's not funny, really. It isn't. It's not funny. It's sad. But right now I am in a good mood, and I find it funny right now. So because I'm not afraid of going back to the Orion Nebula. I'm looking forward to it. So it's nice. I don't really see the point of sending anyone back to the Orion Nebula before their time, so but whatever. There's no point in it at all. It's not going to buy him a Mercedes-Benz electric Sprinter van or a Tesla Cybertruck. It's not going to buy him that. It's just some ego retaliation to get even. I don't know for what, but that is what he's thinking. He wants to always get even. I try to help people, but if they don't listen, there's nothing I can do any further to help. I can live by example, I can always share the truth, but if they laugh at the truth and they say, oh, that's your reality, that's not our reality, well then that's a reality you choose. Then people get the government they deserve. Some Russian person said that once. But this time, the majority of people are not going to vote for Joe Biden again. So that's for sure. Because they see the results of it. The results speak louder than any propaganda. But I'm worried for Donald Trump's safety, I really am. Because the mafia, they're not going to let him go back to the White House. The mafia. What I'm worried about. I'm worried for the safety of Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, David Grush, worried for the safety of all of these people. Particularly Donald Trump. Donald Trump's at a real high risk now of being assassinated. I'm sure he knows that, but he's like a martyr. I mean, he's trying to save the United States anyway. He'll do what it takes to save the United States, even if he risks his life. Donald Trump's my hero, and Elon Musk, and Tucker Carlson. They are my heroes. And Paul Watson, Captain Paul Watson, is my hero, and Ingrid Newkirk. And Wayne Purcell. These are amazing people. And we should all be infinitely grateful that they are here in this era, in this world. They're here right now to help. But I'm worried for them. I don't want them to get hurt. I would do anything to protect them. I would give my life to protect them. Because we need them. The animals need them. The earth needs them. But I am very, very, very afraid of going into a factory farm. Very afraid. I'm terrified of that. I mean, it would be a suicide mission, to say the least. And worse even. Who knows what they would do, you know. I mean, that's like war. That's like... It's not terrorism. The factory farmers are the terrorists. They terrorize the animals. They're the ones that make the animals suffer. The ones who go in there to rescue the animals are the rescuers. Those are good Samaritans. Those are doing angel work. It's very, very important that I say this. People need to understand it. Yes. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I think that is pretty much it. That wraps the video up now. It's getting a little bit chilly here. So, okay, you guys take care. Peace and love.